Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is December 31st, 2024, and this year is hours away from being over. And wow, what a busy year it's been. Not just because of, yes, 3 horse junketings, but because work was really intense this year. And yeah, the result of that is, unfortunately, I was not very successful about getting out a lot of the content that I wanted to share on all of these channels and sites with you all this year. And it was also a year where, frankly, some of the trips, I couldn't really do it in the moment. I could do very little in the moment. So here we are, the end of the year, and I decided that the least that I could do is for this final day, give you a summary of the 3 horse junketings and hope that it is enough of a whetting of the appetite that you all will come back for the more in-depth trips. They are definitely going to be worth it. And the work certainly is well underway on that. I just haven't been able to wrap them and put them together in nice packages. So with that in mind, hang tight. Here comes the 3 horse junketings of 2024. Enjoy.
So the first junketing of the year kicked off in February, and this was a journey into the high Andes of Chile and Argentina. Now, this is a journey with a bona fide destination. We started not far from Santiago, Chile, and then over the course of 8 days, the ride follows this historical passage taken by General San Martin about 200 years ago, and ends not far from Mendoza. I mean, honestly, this trip is a standout, and that's not only for 2024, but frankly for most of the junketings that I've taken to date. And I think in large part this is due to the true expeditionary nature of the ride. Everything we needed for everyone had to be carried by pack mules. And this was everything. I mean, tables, chairs, tents, tack, sleeping bags, our gear, you name it. And that, of course, also included all the food that we were going to eat for the next 8 days. Now, for this trip, we had the choice of riding either horses or mules. And given the terrain, I decided on mules. One thing is for sure, though, is that with each step that you take deeper into the Andes, you become far more aware of how isolated and exposed you are to the world and environment around you. The cool thing is that as you cross over these passes as high as 15,000 feet, you discover that behind those primal raw peaks, the Andes hold secrets. Suddenly, out of the blue, we are descending down into these lush green valleys fed by glacier runoff and streams and springs. Later, those wonderful streams would revisit us as fast-moving torrents that needed to be crossed. I gotta say that it was a real shock coming back to civilization. I mean, I think some of those habits I developed on the trail I kept for a couple of weeks. But I think that's also a testament to how authentic and deeply felt this particular junketing was, and why I hope you'll come back for the multi-episodes that I'm going to do. But for now, let's hit the second horse junketing for 2024, which is also a mountain journey. It took place in a beautiful region of the Pyrenees, and I have to say that the real stars of this journey, and the best part by far, are these wonderful Marin's horses. They're the smallish, solid horses bred in the mountains of southern France and northern Spain, close to Andorra. And let me tell you, this is their world, and we are just riding in it. The 6-day ride begins in France, before touching into Andorra and then Spain for 3 countries before ending again in France. Gallop! Gallop! Now, as with any mountain passage, the weather can be highly changeable, and we definitely got a variety. Starting with days that were absolutely exquisitely late summer days to cold, wet, and rainy, requiring heavy raincoats. The thing is, whatever the weather, it's really fun to go clattering through a tiny village where folks are going to pop out to pee just to see what the heck was up. Now, this was a junketing that required you to do quite a bit of dismounted walking in some really tricky places. But personally, I actually found this challenge rewarding. So, but I do think the horses did much better than most of the humans, and they would just meet you down below if you needed to let them go so you had your own pacing. This trip isn't really a true pack trip. There was a single unattended pack mule, and nights were spent in these, rough bunkhouses with limited cooking facilities, and you slept in your sleeping bags. But overall, I found this trip to be a disappointment on many levels, which I will get into more on the detailed version. Having said that, let's move on to the final junketing of 2024. It takes place in a very agricultural rural area of Catalonia, Spain, which is a region that, for me personally, holds a super special place in my heart. Unlike the previous trips, this is a center-based ride working out of a beautiful old restored Spanish hacienda, so it was comfortable and way more relaxing. A pleasant part of this stay is the fact that the family itself is intimately involved with the operations. So you really get a chance to know them and know a lot more about the community and the culture that's around you. For 4 early winter days, we rode in different directions, down country trails, through small villages, and across rich farmland, led by really our capable guide, Lucy. And while we did get close to the sea, we never made it that far. All right, buddy. The pace itself was really pretty good, and maybe even a little bit faster than I thought. We definitely had a fun mix of walking, trotting, and a good bit of cantering, including a few places with some gallops. These horses were from the endurance world and were very competitive and had a lot of Arabian in them, and that made them a really good fit for this work, and they were completely honest about their jobs. Antoine really made lunch a lot of fun, such as with, the surprise hammocks. Overall, I thought this was a low-pressure, comfortable junketing, and it made a fabulous wrap for the year.
For now, it's December 31st, 2024, in the late afternoon, and I think we're all probably ready to go to our evening festivities. So with that, I will bid you adieu. I hope to see you in 2025, because it's going to be another gangbuster year. There's already stuff planned, and be safe.